All right, today we're taking apart my Toyota key fob here, and kind of looks like that smart key fob. I was getting into the car and noticed that the car was saying it got a low battery. I think it might have said on the key fob. So I took this thing apart and took the battery out, and I've got my little handy dandy battery tester. So I take the battery out and then, let's see here, take the battery and put it into the side here and would push down on this button. And notice that's pointing on, it's touching the G and part of the O at the top and the green. So that battery is saying it's good. So that's a good thing. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this battery in here. Let me shut off the camera for a second. Okay, so I got the battery inside of the printed circuit board. I'm going to take these right here and move them out of the way for right now. Okay, so now that we've got this key fob printed circuit board, I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to push this button right here. In this top corner over here, there's a red LED. So I'm going to push it, and I don't see the red LED going on. So that was concerning to me. Checked my battery, it checked good, and no red LED. I did discover on one of these key fobs, if you see that hole in the corner there, that's where the red LED should be shining through. On one of my key fobs, there was some dirt in there or something to where I couldn't see through the hole. And so therefore on that key fob, the red LED was turning on, but I didn't know it was turning on because the hole was plugged. So you might want to also check your plastic half of your key fob. See if your hole is opened and ready to go. So what I want to show here is I'm going to get my battery tester here, and I'm going to get my two probes and see if I can hook that across these capacitors here. Let me hit pause for a second. Okay, so when I put the probe on across the capacitor there, you can see that it shows that the battery tester is showing good. But watch what happens when I push the button on the top to turn on the transmitter. So right now I'm not pushing the button, it says it's good. When I push the button, oops, let's see here, slippery little guy. When I push the button, let's see if I can get this on here and push that button. There, if I push the button, it's going into the red zone, so that's a problem. And then notice if I push this button here, the red LED doesn't come on. Now that we've looked at that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my voltmeter here, and here, let me just put I'm going to do the same test, but we're going to see the voltage change. So let's see, if I measure the voltage across the capacitor, it says about 3 volts. Now when I push the button down, whoops, when I push the button down, it drops down to 2.1 volts. So that battery is not working well. So let's get a different battery, which is a good battery, and measure that one. Okay, So now I just put a new battery in here, and notice one thing is when I push the button down, the red LED turns on, which is a good sign. And then if I measure the voltage up here on the meter, we're at 3.2 volts. When I push the button down, it goes to 2.8. So the other one was going to 2.1. So that's enough of a voltage difference not to light this LED and also make the transmitter work correctly. So even though you test your battery on one of these units here, if you don't have a load on it, and by pushing the button that puts a heavier load on the battery, it can show you what the voltage drops down to. In my case, it was 2.1 on the bad battery, and on the good battery it was 2.9 on the good battery when they got the button pushed. Also, another thing that I noticed when I was doing this, I took a fresh battery out of the package, and I measured it on the battery tester, and that one was completely dead. So even though you're pulling the battery out of the package, you got to test them, and then on your battery tester, and then also when you're putting a load on them, like pushing the button, if it's not working, then you want to test. Typically, if you can find like a little capacitor on the printed circuit board, like the one down there, there's other little capacitors right there and over here that may have had the same battery voltage across them. But so that is what you should be thinking about when you have these key fobs and they're not working correctly. Another thing is I took this little remote starter apart and measured the battery in this one, and I have two different of these remote starts. The bigger one wasn't working correctly, and I went and measured the batteries in that, and there was two batteries in there stacked on top of each other. One was completely dead, and the other one was kind of a lower voltage. So it helps to check the batteries under load and make sure your key fobs can work the best possible by getting a highly fresh battery in your fobs. Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a nice day.